I'm going to repeat the questions. She asked, those of us in the room understand fundamentally these problems. How do we reach those who don't, the kind of people who believe that Fox News gives them the truth? You know, it's interesting, just the other day, people here in Santa Fe have been so gracious to me and to Who, What, Why, welcoming us and introducing us to people and into their homes. And the other day I was with a group of people out having drinks at a popular hotel in town, and there was one fellow who, I don't know if he'd been invited, somebody ran into him and he sat down, and he was identified as a conservative Republican who gets all of his information from Fox News. And I just ignored that and I proceeded to tell stories. And within about 10 minutes I saw him nodding his head. And then he said, you know, do you have a copy of your book with you? I'd like to buy it. And he said, you know, what you're saying makes sense to me. And so I realized, and I keep realizing, that people are not totally calcified. They can be changed, their minds can be changed. Just as the right has all of these, you know, former leftists who saw the light, and the left has all of these figures who were former conservatives, Arianna Huffington, David Brock, and so forth. People can change their minds. And so what we think is, if you treat people with respect, and if you give them a lot of facts delivered in a persuasive and even entertaining way, you know, our work is not straight news reporting. You'll see it's got a narrative, it's got a little bit of a slightly polemical edge, but that's after we do the digging. It's not before. And we think that the limitations of the sort of conventional alternative media, those shows and those magazines and so on, is they don't really convince anyone. They are read and watched by people who basically agree with them and who are nodding because they're not doing that original reporting and that finding that new information from an open position of an open mind. We get emails literally, every single day from people who have gone to Who, What, Why, in some cases people who've read Family of Secrets, and they say, I just want to thank you for what you do. I got 2 today. Now, I've talked to other authors. It's very rare because I don't put my email address in the book. Every day people reach out to me from around the United States and around the world thanking me and thanking Who, What, Why for what we do, and many of them say, I am a retired colonel of the U.S. Army. People say I'm a libertarian. They say I'm a conservative. I call myself an honest conservative. There are a lot of people who are independents or who don't have any political stance. There are a lot of people who are 19, 18, 17 years old. You probably have people in your family like that, really sharp, inquiring people. We're getting people all the way across the spectrum. I think when you take a much broader view of this kind of thing, and you are okay with doing the research and presenting it to people, people will listen. There's a small group of people who won't listen at all, but you know what? Even those people will listen. They take a little bit of resistance, and they're so traumatized by this. So, for example, in Family of Secrets, much to my astonishment, as I went back through George H.W. Bush's life, I discovered that he, in an interview, had basically claimed that he didn't remember where he was when he heard that John F. Kennedy was shot. And I found that so fascinating. I thought, well, as long as I'm digging into this family and I see they have all these secrets, and that he was already in the CIA back then, I'll just try to find out where he was. And I didn't have any opinions on the Kennedy assassination at all, which makes me the perfect person to basically investigate all this controversy about the Kennedy assassination itself. Same thing with 9/11. I don't have any opinion on it. And I get attacked all the time from people who either believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did it alone, or those people who think with absolute certainty they know exactly how a large conspiracy was carried out against Kennedy, and other people who believe that 9/11 was absolutely just a work of a group of anarchists who got together and flew these planes in these buildings, and other people who believe that it was a false flag operation of elements of the U.S. government. My answer is, how should I know? How should you know?
So when you did the research, did you find out where he was?
I did, yeah.
And who was that?
Well, That's what you get to read the book for. 4 chapters of all new information on the Kennedy assassination. I've gone from literally being a complete neophyte on that subject to being somebody who's considered sort of an expert on that subject.